Hello, Lambrick. It is Monday. Scott here. As I've said many times, I miss you guys. We love you guys. It is June 15th, middle of the month. July is coming soon. Summer doesn't feel like summer. Therese calls this January, as I'm sure some of you do too. It's dreary today. But anyways, just wanted to touch base about a couple things. I heard someone ask the other day, hey, what's Lambrick doing this summer? Like, are we taking a break? Supposedly some churches are taking breaks. I don't know. That's weird. But we're still meeting the way we're meeting these days. We're going to press on. It's different staff members of our leadership will take holidays and here and there, but we will share the load and continue in our study in the Sermon on the Mount through the whole of the summer. We're going to have a couple awesome, unique Sundays, 3 of them, midsummer, called One Thing Sundays, where we'll have different people in our congregation, young and old, telling stories of what's one thing. I don't know everything, but one thing I know about God, about life with God. It'd be great. So looking forward to those Sundays. Writing study guides these weeks. If you go into the resource page in the website, there's discussion guides for groups or families or friends if you want to connect. Obviously, there's lots that's not happening at the big level, but we have all the opportunity we want to connect as friends in the pursuit of Jesus in these days. And I hope that you're looking for ways to do that, whether that's with one other person or 2 other people, sitting on a back deck, meeting at Willows Beach or wherever, or over Zoom. Love that people are connecting. I know Glenn and Lucy recently have been doing Sunday post-church coffee Zoom calls. If you want to dial into those kind of post-church coffee, like you would on normal Sunday, connect with a few faces. Now it's been great. Cheer to Patricia Hildebrand for getting on this week. I know that in a few weeks, maybe next week, Lucy and Simon are going to be starting a midday on Tuesday connection Zoom call for anybody who wants to just connect for half an hour with a huddle or a crowd of other folks and see some faces and make a connection beyond Sunday. There's stuff coming. So plan on staying in the journey with us, and glad that we get to continue to be a church even though we can't gather in the ways we're used to. But I'm encouraged about some groups that are still meeting these days or have regrouped, some little discipleship huddles that have started up between some friends or people that didn't really know each other who are coming together to pursue God. I'm continuing on with my skeptics study. We've morphed into a study on world religions, and it's been an amazing study on the different faiths and how Jesus and the gospel is unique. Tomorrow night, my group's studying Islam, and then we do a wrap up the next week. And it's been amazing. Learning about God, learning about Jesus as we look at how Jesus is distinct to Buddhism, Islam, Hinduism, Judaism, and the Christian story. It's been so good. So amazing how, God's meeting us there. So lots happening. God is at hand and at work. And I hope you're encouraged these days. And if you aren't, I hope this encourages you that God is at work in the life of our church and through us. And I got a note from Kelly and Cello Gahea in Rwanda just to say thank you for your teaching these days. And I want you to know we're watching from across the world. And the other week we shared one of the teaching videos with all the students in our class because they needed to know what the Bible says about something. I think that's amazing. God is using our ministry and our life and using so many of you in the life of your neighbors and your families and your workspaces. And it's good. So what else do I want to share about that? Let me check my notes. I just want to put the call out as we continue to walk in these complicated days in our world with pain around racial injustice. As we head into this week, I believe there's lots of evidence that this Friday is probably going to be a hard day in America for a lot of people. It is what's called Juneteenth. It's a historic day that honors the end of slavery in America. And it might be a hard Friday for many people, just recognizing how slavery was officially abolished so many years ago and yet has continued on. Not slavery per se, but a lot of racial injustice. And so I want to invite us to pray. And if you are willing to even commit to fast for part of Friday, to maybe fast from one meal or maybe the whole day, or to give up coffee for the day, and not just to fast, but to actually create some space to pray. That said, I think fasting itself sometimes is a great way to bow before God when we don't really know how to pray. We come to God and say, God, I want to eat. Food is good, coffee's good, and you've given it to us for our enjoyment. But what I want even more, God, is for your glory, your kingdom, your will to come on earth as it is in heaven, for justice to roll on like a river, for righteousness to flow like an ever-flowing stream. And so if you want to join me this Friday in your heart, in fasting and prayer and others, praying for our world, praying for those that are suffering, praying for those that are angry and hurting, pray for reconciliation. That's what we need to pray for. Not just justice, but reconciliation, that our world would be, that power would be aligned toward God's priorities, and that relationships would be restored across our world, in our own hearts, in our own communities. So I want to invite us to pray for our world in these days, and maybe uniquely this Friday. Join with me, join with many others, and pray for racial justice in our world and in our own hearts. That's it for today. Love you, friends. Look forward to seeing you again later this Sunday for sure, if not sooner.